I trusted my roommate with my dog for one weekend. That trust was shattered when I checked my security cameras. My roommate Kelly seemed like the perfect person to watch my golden retriever Milo while I went to my sister's wedding in Denver. She'd always been great with him, giving him treats and taking him on walks when I worked late shifts at the hospital. Kelly even volunteered to dog sit when I mentioned I was stressed about leaving Milo at a kennel. She said she loved having him around and that it would be no problem at all. I was so relieved because Milo gets anxious around strangers, and I knew he'd be comfortable with her. Before I left Friday morning, I showed Kelly where everything was: his food, his favorite toys, the emergency vet number. I had security cameras in the living room and kitchen that I'd installed after some break-ins in our neighborhood, but I didn't think I'd need to check them. The wedding was beautiful, and I was having such a good time that I barely thought about home. Kelly texted me a few pictures of Milo on Saturday, so I figured everything was going perfectly. Sunday night, I flew back home around 11 p.m. Kelly was already asleep, but I could hear Milo whimpering from her room. When I opened the door, he practically launched himself at me, shaking and acting like he hadn't seen me in months instead of just 3 days. Something felt off. Milo seemed really anxious and kept following me around the apartment like he was scared I'd leave again. His food bowl was completely full, which was weird because he always eats everything right away. Monday morning after Kelly left for work, I decided to check the security cameras just to see how Milo had been while I was gone. What I saw made my blood boil. Friday night, Kelly had invited at least 15 people over for a party. The cameras showed people drinking, smoking, and being loud until 3 a.m. But the worst part was what happened to Milo. Instead of letting him roam free like I told her, Kelly had locked him in the bathroom for the entire party. I could see him scratching at the door and barking, clearly stressed out. When people complained about the noise, she turned up the music instead of letting him out. Saturday was even worse. Kelly left the apartment at noon and didn't come back until 10 p.m. The cameras showed Milo sitting by the door for hours, waiting for someone to come home. His water bowl was empty and he'd had accidents on the floor because no one was there to let him out. When Kelly finally came home Saturday night, she was with some guy I'd never seen before. They were drunk and loud, and when Milo tried to greet them, the guy actually pushed him away and called him annoying. Sunday morning, Kelly cleaned up the apartment and filled Milo's food bowl, probably trying to hide the evidence. She took those pictures she sent me right before I landed, making it look like she'd been taking great care of him the whole time. I was shaking watching those videos. This was my dog, my best friend, and she'd basically abandoned him for an entire weekend while throwing parties in my home. When Kelly got home from work Monday evening, I was sitting on the couch with my laptop open to the security footage. Her face went white when she saw what was on the screen. I didn't even let her try to explain. I told her she had exactly 1 week to find a new place to live. She started crying and saying it wasn't as bad as it looked, that she'd just made a few mistakes. I played the video of Milo scratching at the bathroom door while her party guests laughed in the background. Then I showed her the 8-hour stretch where he sat alone waiting for her to come home. She tried to say she didn't know I had cameras, like that somehow made it okay. I told her the cameras weren't the problem. Her complete disregard for a living creature that trusted her was the problem. Kelly moved out 5 days later. Before she left, she had the nerve to ask if she could still visit Milo sometimes because she really cared about him. I told her that people who really care don't lock dogs in bathrooms during parties or leave them alone for 10 hours straight. Milo's back to his normal happy self now, but I learned a valuable lesson about trusting people with the things you love most.